For centuries, this truth has been guarded in silence, carried in symbols, waiting for those who can hear. And still it calls. The story of Jesus and Mary Magdalene is not finished. It is living, breathing, echoing in the hearts of those who remember. Their union was not erased, it was planted as a seed. And now, as more awaken, that seed begins to bloom. The twin flames remind us that love is not weakness. Love is not distraction. Love is the revolution. To hear this story is to be invited into a mystery, one that history tried to bury. Why did the church fear her? Why did empire erase her? Why was her name dragged through the mud for centuries? Because she held the key. She embodied the truth of balance, the forgotten half of the divine. This is not myth. This is memory. And you are not just listening, you are being called to remember too. The twin flame path is not a fairy tale. It is the recognition of two souls who mirror the divine so fully that their union becomes a doorway for others. Jesus and Mary carried this path, and their flame still burns. What has been hidden is more than a love story. It is the blueprint of what humanity was meant to remember. When you strip away the layers of doctrine, when you look beneath the words that survived the councils and the censors, you begin to see fragments that tell a very different story. The Gospel of Philip dares to call Mary Magdalene the companion of the Christ. Not a servant, not a follower, but companion. The word itself speaks of intimacy, of partnership, of equality. It tells us he loved her more than the rest, that he kissed her often. These words shocked the early church because they revealed a Jesus who was not untouchable, but fully human. A Jesus who embraced love as sacred, not as sin. The Gospel of Mary goes further, showing her as a teacher in her own right. After his departure, when the disciples were afraid and uncertain, it was Mary who spoke the words of comfort. It was she who revealed the vision she had received, the wisdom she carried, the authority she embodied. But Peter objected. He could not accept that a woman had been chosen to hold such mysteries. And so her voice was silenced, her gospel hidden away. Why were these texts banned, burned, buried? Because they carried the feminine flame. Because they proved that the church's story was incomplete. Because they reminded humanity that the Spirit speaks not only through men, but through women, through balance, through love. This erasure was not an accident, it was strategy. To control the people, the empire needed to control the story. And to control the story, the feminine had to be diminished. If Mary Magdalene was remembered as equal, then no system of power could justify silencing women. No priest could claim superiority. No hierarchy could stand on false ground. But the truth